In the last video, we got the Skyline running with its new motor for the very first time, but it didn't sound 100% healthy. And after going through all the effort of swapping in a new motor with unknown history, we couldn't get it to run right, so the alarm bells began ringing. Why? There was some sort of misfire coming from the engine, but I couldn't pinpoint that out before I left for Japan. So today, we're going to diagnose the misfire and hopefully get this thing running smooth. Just a bit of history for the new viewers, we bought one of the cheapest R32 Skylines on Facebook Marketplace. Turns out it was stolen at one point and the thieves blew up the motor, so we swapped a new motor in and now we're here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the car one more time and I'm going to see if there's any fuel on the spark plugs that are in the chambers that I think are not correctly firing. So we're going to take everything apart, check out these spark plugs, run the car first, and then, yeah. In order for an engine to work, there's only a few things it needs. You need air, which we definitely have, compression, which I hope we have, ignition, well, we're about to test that, and fuel. This one's a hard one to diagnose. What I did was disconnect each coil plug to see if the engine changed sound, and if it does change sound, that means the coil is working. And if you listen here, after disconnecting plug number 3, nothing changed, which means the cylinder was not firing correctly. This could either be spark or fuel. Bit of a tricky one. I'm going to remove the spark plugs now and maybe it'll give me more of an idea of what's actually going on inside the engine. On these RB20s, it is a bit of a process to remove the spark plugs because the intake manifold goes directly over the motor. So of course we started off by disconnecting that first, then removing all the harness plugs, then the coil packs, and then of course the spark plugs. Tell me in the comments which spark plug is not functioning correctly. Cylinder number 1, we have cylinder number 2, we have cylinder number 3, cylinder number 4, 5, and 6. If you guessed cylinder number 3, then you are correct, because as you can see, there is like barely any carbon buildup, which indicates that there isn't any fuel going into that cylinder chamber. So we're just going to replace the fuel injector now on cylinder number 3 and hope that fixes the problem. Now the fuel injectors of course are not easy to get to. You need to disconnect them from the fuel rail, which means that you need to loosen the fuel rail. So as you can see, there's a bolt here and there's a bolt here, but with a bit of finesse and a few extensions, the fuel rail was loose, and then I was able to squeeze my hand down to get to the third injector. This was not easy to do. Here is the injector that was causing our issue, and I'm not going to be able to show you on camera, but there was a little bit of sediment on the top of the injector right there. I'm going to have to look for the best injector out of this little pile over here, the one that I think is going to be the best, which, you know, visual inspection isn't going to tell me much because, you know, this one might be the best one even though it's covered in crap. I don't know, but I'll see you in a second. Hopefully, yeah, this thing idles mint after we replace the injector. Replacing the injector wasn't too bad to do, but I still didn't know if this was going to fix a misfire. So I crossed my fingers and hoped for the best. This engine has been causing me problems. Coil packs connected, spark plugs connected, new fuel injector. Well, let's see if this thing's gonna idle now. Come on, baby. Okay, maybe I should connect up all the vacuum lines. That'll probably help it. Come on, come on. Sort of sounds misfire-y. Unfortunately, our misfire was still there. This made me feel really defeated. The plot thickens because it's still doing the same thing and I don't know what is going on until now because I figured it out, I believe. We have 2 coil pack harnesses. This is the one that I replaced all the plugs on, and as you can see, all the wires here are all the same on each plug, whereas on the third cylinder it's got this aftermarket plug that has different wiring. So I thought by replacing this coil harness, this would fix our misfire, and I robbed the coil harness from the other R32 in the garage, but still, same results. Not gonna lie to you guys, at this point, I'm feeling pretty defeated. Now I'm gonna pause here because I was being overly dramatic. Off camera, I decided to test a few other things and I actually found the problem. There's this thing called an igniter coil. It's this little silver box that sits on the coil cover, and luckily I had a spare one, so I decided to install it, and we finally fixed the misfire. The igniter box was causing all our problems. I just had to do this off camera because I spent hours trying to diagnose it before, and looking back on everything, it was silly that I didn't try this at the beginning. Here we go.
Great success!
Look at that! Running mint, baby! So we got the Skyline started and running good, and then this happened. I'll explain what happened in a little bit, but before I explain that, check this out. We got a new release of Skyline t-shirts available now at benkyspec.com. A lot of you guys have already copped this t-shirt. It's got some small little details about R32 Skylines, and yeah, there's some Easter eggs.
I think it's one of my favorite designs so far. For anyone wondering, I'm a dense boy, 2XL, fits perfect. Copy yours now.
Anyway, let me explain. The radiator support on the R32 Skyline is a little bit bent because of the collision it had before I bought it. I don't know what the thieves were doing, but they smashed up the radiator support on the passenger side, and because the radiator sits on this and the fan shroud, with a bit of revving of the motor, the clutch fan clipped the radiator shroud and then the fan shroud exploded. So I need a new radiator and I need a new fan shroud, and in the meantime we're going to try fix up the radiator support. I attacked most of this area with a hammer and an extension, and as you can see, that little corner was slowly moving out, but it was definitely far from perfect. I then removed the bumper to get more access, and then I removed the fan shroud. I then brought the car out to drain and remove the radiator, and this is where things got a little bit sketchy. Hammering out the radiator support did a pretty surprising job, but we weren't able to get some of the creases out, so yeah. We have a ratchet strap connected to the AE Falcon tow bar that we just installed, connected to the radiator support. And this little hole right there where the headlight mounts, we need that to be straight and sort of flush with everything here. So we're just gonna ratchet strap this until it comes out, I guess, and hopefully it works. I can't see why this wouldn't work, but we're just gonna give it a shot, and yeah, hopefully we don't cause the tow bar to fly off or anything. Alright guys, we are back with overnight parts. Another box. Oh my god. Oh my god. So we have two boxes here. One is a new radiator. I never showed you guys the damage on the radiator that hit by the fan spinning and vibrating. There's the radiator. As you can see, yep, it's pretty bad. Completely destroyed all the coolant valleys over there. So that's why we have a new radiator. Ooh. So here is our new radiator, and here is the old one. There is one little sensor that we need to change over, and it is this sensor that goes right here. And there is just a bung/blanking plate just over where it should go. But that should be too hard to do. We're just gonna swap them over, then install them, and then install the radiator and the fan shroud. So firstly, I removed the old sensor off the old radiator, and then I installed the new radiator and the new fan shroud. Okay guys, we are done installing the radiator and the fan shroud, and it is time to now fill this thing up with some water. We just want to make sure that it's running perfectly before I start installing things like the coil pack cover and zipping up the intercooler pipes, because there's no point putting all that together, then finding out that it doesn't run right and then repeating. So I'm just going to leave everything off and then fill it up with some water. Yeah, see how we go. So like I said, everything was left loose intentionally just to make sure that the car would run correctly, so I wouldn't have to pull everything apart again. So I went ahead and tightened everything for the final time, and for the first time the RB20 was looking pretty damn complete. I did have to replace a few sensors from the old motor because it still wasn't running 100% correctly, but we did manage to get it running absolutely perfectly after this. Fingers crossed I can actually drive this thing. Next, I installed the front end, I installed the front bumper and the headlights and also the corner lights, and the car was finally starting to come together. Alright guys, as you just saw, we got the bumper on, the headlights on, and the corner lights, and it now looks pretty damn sweet. Chica. We're just gonna put the bonnet on now, and then yeah, see if we can get the thing running. This thing is a nightmare. It's like a good motor, but for some reason every electronic bit around it is just messed up, so it is what it is. Next day now, guys, and we have run into a bit of a problem, unfortunately, again. So we can't get this thing to bleed correctly, and I spent basically all of today, which is the next day, fixing that. And it was like a blocked pipe underneath the intake plenum. Anyway, it's all now fixed. We're gonna put some temporary registration on this thing and then take it for a little bit of a drive, and hopefully it doesn't die on us. If that happens, then we're screwed because no one's here to help me. After removing the blown motor and replacing it with this motor, I was so stoked to drive this thing for the first time around the block. There were still many problems with the car, but at least it was drivable. Let's see how we go. All right, here goes nothing. Okay, let's do this. No one is here to help. Hopefully, we don't get stranded. My heart is pounding so hard right now. Oh my god, it just died. It literally just died. What the hell? Right here is where I regretted my decision of taking this thing around the block. But I'll be honest, it wouldn't be much of a video if I didn't, so I sent it anyway. Second gear. Okay, I'm sorry if I don't like say anything, it's because I'm nervous as hell. It's really not running that good. It's good that it's going into all the gears though. Okay, it's like cutting out at like 2000 RPM, which is really not that good. Should probably get this thing home ASAP, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, it's like 2000 RPM, and then the thing just doesn't want to run anymore. Oh my god. I don't know what's going on. Man, that was so nerve-wracking, holy crap. I quickly pulled over to just get some photos because this was the first time the car was driving around the area. And although the car is far from complete, it is still crazy to see this thing out on the road and technically driving for the first time properly. Now, I am going to need a bit of help from you guys because I'm not too sure why it's doing the things that it's doing. And I know this Skyline series has carried out quite a while. It's simply because I'm not an expert and I don't have unlimited money, but things like this regardless take time. But for a moment, let's just enjoy how good this Skyline looks right now. Okay, we're done taking photos and cinematics. We're going to get this thing home ASAP because I don't know if it's going to be able to make it. I don't want to turn it off just in case, but I am just so stoked, guys. I can't believe how cool this thing looks. Look at it, man. Holy moly, bro. All right, let's get this thing back. I'm very worried that it's gonna break down on me. Okay, I literally just said I didn't want to turn it off just in case it doesn't turn back on, and it turned itself off. This is not good. Okay, here we go again. Okay, it still starts, which is cool. All right, let's get this thing home. It drives really good though. No weird knocks or sounds or anything like that, which is ideal. It just doesn't rev out, which is a little bit odd. But third gear, fourth gear, but yeah, rev hangs. Oh shit, it just died. Oh shit. Okay, it started. That's ideal. Can't tell you how nerve-wracking this is, guys. It sounds so good as well. RB20s have such a good note. People even say that RB20s sound better than RB26s. How weird is that? They sound more like a 26 than a 26 sounds like a 26. Oh, we just got some flutter for the first time. And then I just lost like throttle response. Yeah, when I like put my foot down like past, I don't know, 20% throttle, like fast with a lot of load, it just dies on me for some reason. If there are any RB20 gods out there in the chat, please let me know what you think that is, because that is very concerning. But we are home. Hell yeah. Like I said, guys, I am not an expert when it comes to Skylines. I've learnt basically everything on the fly, and it has been such a joy. If there's one thing that I want you guys to take away from this, it's that anything is possible if you set your mind to it. I often get asked if I'm a mechanic by trade, but that is absolutely not the case. I just try things and learn, and it seems to be working out so far. Anyway, from the state that we got this car in to what it looks like now and how it drives, I'm pretty stoked, and hopefully in the next video we can get it running perfectly and then send it off to paint. That is unfortunately it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. This video was supposed to actually be out yesterday, but because of all the problems that we had, I had to delay it until today. This is actually today's time, so by the time this is uploaded, it's the same day as I'm talking on right now. And I only have an hour and 15 minutes to edit this, so I better get onto this. Anyway, I will see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Usually I save this for the middle of the video because that's when I use their products, but this video is brought to you by Autobahn. As you guys know, Autobahn is a sponsor of the channel, and all the tools that I use, all the chemicals, the liquids, the spray cans and all that stuff is all bought from Autobahn, and it's a shop that I've been going to as a kid with my dad when he did DIY stuff on his cars many years ago. Go check out Autobahn, guys. They are the biggest supporters of the channel and they help me out quite a lot. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks, Autobahn, and I'll catch you again later. See ya.